Ernesto, Destiny, what's going on? We're just about to get this show started. Definitely feeling much better today. Still got a bit of a lingering cold somewhat, but definitely feel much better than I did on Saturday. What's up, Steve? Fam Bam, guys, welcome to the show. This is Chris Muser here. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, I talk about PC and tech. And of course, today we're going to talk about a few interesting factors, such as AMD's multi-frame gen, as it seems this is sort of the new thing that a lot of the brands are certainly getting into. AMD obviously wants to compete with NVIDIA. And to answer Kilobyte, what's good? How am I feeling? I'm feeling much better. As you can hear in my voice, it's much more clear, I bet. Less coughing. I still get a little bit of the mucus that gets end up getting stuck in my throat, but I'm definitely feeling much better. Thank you for asking. I certainly do appreciate it. I don't know how many of you are certainly excited for the frame gen when it comes to AMD. Of course, not many people were too excited when NVIDIA has originally announced frame generation when it came to their DLSS. Now, when it comes to AMDs, of course, they want to try to outshine in a sense as they want to go 8-1 compared to NVIDIA where it's currently 6-1. But as we all know, NVIDIA is going to eventually going to surpass that 6-1 number, as this is what they already pretty much created for the past, let's say, I'd say for at least about the past 6 months, ever since CES of 2026. It seems that this whole 6-1 was pretty much its new standard. Now, when it comes to the next generation, or even maybe the 50 Super Series, that you can certainly expect that there will be a changeover. Now, what is going to be interesting is the fact that this is based on a driver update and not just based on next generation. AMD could possibly try to pull it off on their cards that they have currently, but I would imagine it being a very difficult task, especially for its maximum rasterization as it is. Even on NVIDIA, I never go above 3 times frame generation. I agree. Even when I game on NVIDIA, most of the time, I really have frame generation pretty much off most of the times if I can get away with it. Now, if you guys know, if you do take advantage of DLSS and frame generation, there is a certain formula that you have to put together when it comes to it working flawlessly. And for NVIDIA, for those who do not know, you have to have NVIDIA Reflex enabled. You also have to make sure that your refresh rate is all the way at the full maximum refresh rate and not stuck at 60 Hz, as some may accidentally have it left on. It happens, especially if you get a new display. You might forget to accidentally switch over the refresh rate. And then, of course, you have to have DLSS enabled in order for the frame generation to work properly. Now, when AMD has this whole idea, of course, when it comes to their whole multi-frame generation, they're looking to highly compete against NVIDIA when it comes against their software side. As we all know, NVIDIA has their advantages when it comes to their software, as they've had for the longest. AMD was actually frowned upon on their software, especially Adrenalin software, because it always felt like it was far behind. But as of 2026, and even earlier, like even in 2025, it just seemed that AMD had a complete changeover, a complete haulover of their AMD Adrenalin. Now it seems that their AMD Adrenalin is working excellent, and even at times, it seems that it's well improved over even NVIDIA's latest app, which unfortunately still runs into issues. For those who have the NVIDIA app, how many of you do still run into issues to where you see that it ends up crashing, or it ends up not updating correctly, or even the NVIDIA filters are causing the drivers to be unstable to the point where the frame, when you are gaming in-game, it actually ends up reducing and taking away performance from your PC because you have NVIDIA's filters on. Now, of course, when it comes to NVIDIA, they've always been excellent when it comes to certain software, such as their shadow play. Everybody loves their shadow play. Everybody certainly takes advantage of it. It's definitely one of the easiest softwares to certainly take advantage of if you want to get in-game play footage. But all that has certainly changed up, especially with NVIDIA's app, and of course the instability when it comes to using NVIDIA at times. So Steven Anderson says, I am on Linux Mint Cinnamon right now and played some Resident Evil 9 last night. I wanted to see the game launch. It launched it, played amazing, and I can see myself using Mint as my main distro. Now, of course, I can certainly agree that once you go into Linux, especially for those who don't really game in multiplayer games, you would be surprised just how well games perform. Reeve, what's up? Ken, what's going on? Glad to see all of you guys. So for anyone that is planning to use any Linux distros, there is some great news. Currently, they do have a Proton version 11, and some of you guys are probably like, what's Proton version 11? Of course, we all know, everybody here that does game on Linux can tell you that Proton is boss. And meaning so, reason why I say it's boss is because you're able to pretty much game most games that you want on Steam, except for the anti-cheat games. And of course, that is currently something that they're working on. And in Proton version 11, one of the advantages of it, you can take advantage of, guess what? Not just FSR 3. FSR 3 you could already do. But FSR 4 is what they are certainly pushing, even in Linux. Docus, what's up? So, hi, I'm Italian and looking for a GPU under 350 euros. CPU is at 9600X, 132GB DDR5 RAM. I was going to play at 1440p and maybe hold on to the GPU for 6 to 8 years. Okay, Docus, to answer your question, what type of games do you play, by the way? And then we can certainly look at, we can take a look at hardware. And I do have something to introduce to you, Docus. In fact, there is actually posted it on Discord. If you guys don't follow the Discord channel, make sure to check it out. I'll actually switch over to the browser side because I could actually share this with you guys. So anyway, what I wanted to share for my wonderful European fan base, for those who are on the Europe side, I can say that there is a piece of software, not really software, but a website that you can take full advantage of if you are trying to look for PC hardware. As you know, in the US, we typically love to use PC parts picker. Now, PC parts picker, I know, is as big of a choice in other areas because you don't have the availability from some of the stores. So Reeve says, recently came from a pre-built Amazon from CyberPower 7 9800X3D 9070 XT for 2,000 euros. Downside is it's using 4800 megahertz RAM, and even the brand name is not mentioned, but also the PSU is 9. But at least it's not too bad. You can always upgrade the PSU. When you do end up getting a pre-built, most people will be new to PC gaming. Now, if you're not new to PC gaming, then that's okay. At least you already know what to do in PC upgrade side of it. But for those who are just getting into it, we'll certainly learn a little bit more about PC hardware. And then from there on, as you know, that's when you start getting interested in doing things like upgrading the GPU or upgrading even the power supply. So Docus says, honestly, I knew I had a proper PC, so I just don't know what games I want to play. But truly, I wanted to play most games at 60 FPS. Oh, Elden Ring. Elden Ring's a great game, and I'm actually still stuck on it. Let me switch over to the browser, guys. So I'm going to switch over here because we're going to try to browse some components. Now, this is apparently supposed to be really good at searching, especially in the European regions. So let's look at GPUs and see what we can find. Let's make sure we're in the European side here. Now, let me see. I automatically went to, I should put my VPN on like Europe or something. But this is what you guys can certainly use to take a look here. I just learned about this website about just this morning. So they say on here you can actually find some decent deals. And I'll share it with you guys actually here. So if you guys are certainly interested in looking at it, take a look here. PC parts pickers is yes, absolutely. I bought Silent Hill 2 remake on Steam. I thought I should have some of my favorite games on several platforms. You never know if they'll take it away. Yeah. Don't let me even start with PlayStation, guys. Don't you just love how PlayStation is completely ignoring their whole fan base? It's almost like they said, maybe it was just the wind. Doesn't it feel like that? That the fan base doesn't exist at this point? That the lawsuit doesn't exist? Yes, I do recommend using it for hardware compatibility. Been PC gaming for the past 5 years. The only problem is that I'm getting finance only on Amazon. That's okay. I know it's expensive, especially today. Just make sure you get it for a decent deal. Hopefully, at least 0%. There's a lot of companies out there that certainly do it. Um, and Affirm is one of them. I know for sure. I know Micro Center is one of these stores that certainly does that. I know. I'm sure Amazon would probably more than likely do the same thing, and I know for sure Newegg does the same as well. So Ken says check your GPU power, and CPU power requires so you know how many watts you need. It's insane that they won't listen to. I know. It's absolutely crazy. It's just this is how bad it is. In fact, we're gonna go over to the browser here, and I'm gonna switch over to another browser, and we can just take a look here, and we'll go onto PlayStation here. Skydell. So, hello, I wanted to ask your opinion. I have a i9 9900K paired with the 2080 Ti Turbo fan, and I was thinking of getting a 5070 on the 2080 Ti. Is it slowly showing its age on 1440p? What are your thoughts? 5070 is perfect. Honestly, 5070 is okay to go with, but you just have to be aware if you do play modern titles, the 9900K will certainly bottleneck. Because when it comes to Unreal Engine 5, there are limitations when it comes to the CPU. So don't expect magic when you do install the 5070, and you might not see as large of a jump as you think that you will. In fact, you'll take more advantage of the frame generation more than anything with DLSS, especially on a 5070. I think it's a great idea, but just don't. But certain titles, once again, when it comes to Unreal Engine 5, certainly expect some sort of bottlenecking in some sense, unless, of course, you adjust the settings, which I know many certainly do not like to do, especially if they get a new GPU. Smitty, great to see you. They're listening. They don't care. That's how I'm seeing it. I feel like that too. Z-Man, great to see you. Destiny. They they did the same thing with Destiny 2 fans, pretending they don't hear anything. Over. Yes. Yeah, you could overclock it. Where you can go into the same generation and let me see. 9900K. Yeah, that's they have the KS, right? You can take advantage of the KS, or you can even go into. Let me see. That's man, it's a limited selection from that on point. Or just go to Micro Center and get one of the bundles. You can get a decent deal. Let's go to Micro Center real quick. If we go to Micro Center and you want to stick with Intel, I'm telling you, Intel has great deals. Yeah, it is. It is a decent. It is a decent CPU. That was actually the last decent CPU that Intel really truly had until the whole controversy started, where they were just pretty much gluing on their dies when it came to their CPU. But anyway, going to Intel, if you choose to go Intel, you can. They have some great bundles, and man, their pricing has adjusted. To be honest, I didn't expect this. Sorry, I do apologize because $650. Not a bad bundle, but geez, $650. Now 32 gigabytes. It is a Z890, so you're getting one of the best motherboards there. In fact, that's one of the motherboards we ended up using when we actually. No, we didn't use this one. We actually used a similar board, but we used that one the AMD variant was it? Man, I'm getting lost on some of these PC builds, by the way. But we did use the motherboard. This is a great motherboard. But anyway, this Eagle Z890 is a decent motherboard. But again, you're gonna pay 650. I'm surprised they don't have any B860 models, because if you do have a B860 model, I know it's not a Z890, but at least it'll be a little bit cheaper in that sense. And again, you'll be locked into this generation. Honestly, it's not like a terrible deal because Intel's 270K plus is obviously around that $300 price range. And when it comes to the RAM side, it's already $450 right there. So that's technically $750. So you're getting a motherboard for free. But again, I know some of you guys might be just holding out until Intel does come out with their whole new generation, where it's where you can worry about upgrading then. I just think it's also funny that Intel is reviving the whole Z790 and the Z690 platform, where they're going to take advantage of obviously producing CPUs for that as well. So let me see. So 7800X3D deal is pretty good. Absolutely, it is. I am starting to look at going what the 7800X3D. All I would have to do is get a new motherboard and CPU. Yeah, and that's all you would have to do. If you get one of the bundles, and hopefully you have a Micro Center near you if you do take advantage of it. If you don't, take advantage of Newegg. Newegg is honestly a great place to go, especially for certain deals. Now, this is how I find my deals on Newegg. I'll just say, I will look up, say, something like a Dark Style. What's going on? Great to see you. Now, if you're looking up, say, something like a BA50 motherboard, right? And say something like this comes up, you see an ASUS Tough Gaming BA50M. So let's go ahead and click it. And then if you scroll a little bit further down, this is where you'll see their combos. It's kind of slick. You have to type in the motherboard first, and this is where you find the better deals when it comes to Newegg. Right here, if you click onto this, you get a 9600X with 32 gigabytes of RAM plus the motherboard. Now, this is decent. This is actually competitive when it comes to when you compare it to Micro Center. So this is something that many of you should certainly take advantage of if you are trying to do. If you need a new motherboard, if you need a new CPU, this is certainly the way to go. Now, if you don't need the CPU, obviously, because it's a 9600X, then of course you could always end up selling it onto eBay, or you could sell it into Facebook Marketplace, or you could sell it onto some sort of third-party website to where you can pretty much offload it. Or you can just save it for another build, or keep it as a backup processor, because obviously that doesn't hurt as well, because as we know, it can be a bit sketchy at times when you do have some of the X3D processors. So Dark Style says 7800 X3D is a great choice. By a week or 7700 X3D is coming out, it may offer more savings. Absolutely. Again, for those who are not in a rush to upgrade, you can obviously wait just a little bit. You might get a better deal on something, especially that we're still in the middle of summer. More of the deals you'll probably see once we hit in the fall. Because right now we're probably maxed out on what deals that we currently have. Hoping that this whole memory issue that they claim that that we're going to run into does not happen. As of now, it hasn't happened. But let's actually go into the chart here, and we can definitely take a look at that. So if you go over to memory pricing, there's a couple good websites that will certainly share it. Now, PC Parts Picker has a nice, wonderful graph that we can take a look at. Let me verify that I am human. And then we go down here. You can take a look. We pretty much get a stagnation. You see a light uptick around the June, and nothing significant enough to where you're going to face super high pricing. Then now this is the 32 gigabyte kit. Now you compare it to, let's say, the average kit, which is the two 16 gigabyte modules. You can see how much it's stagnated. It's just pretty much flat at this point. I'm hoping that we don't see another uptick. Now you can see that this pretty much held for roughly about 9 months. And if predictability is true, and if this holds for 9 months, then I just hope that this whole uptick, if I were to predict it, if I were trying to predict the chart, if it would be accurate, if it's like true to the pattern and to repeat itself, then you would see the uptick technically probably in late September to October. But let's hope that does not happen. So anyway, Skydow says, I tried to play NTE on 4K on a Ryzen 7 9800X3D 5090 build from a friend with full ray tracing rate for a reconstruction max settings, and it got some what? It's on so it's on UE5. And you're only getting about 17 frames. There's obviously definitely something wrong here. Now, if you're trying to get more than 17 frames, the first thing you got to do is certainly check out what temperatures you're getting, because that really has me curious there. If it's truly getting the full power, check out the voltage. Check it. I would go into hardware monitor and see what it's pulling exactly, because it sounds like it's not doing anything. Now, you know what I would automatically assume? Because this happened to one of my good friends out there, if he's out there watching. But anyway, what he did was plug in the HDMI or the display port into the main board, to the motherboard. He didn't plug it directly to the GPU. Now, I'm going to assume that's probably what happened. Try to check, go onto the bottom of your PC and see if it's plugged in. If you plugged it up onto the top, closer to where the power button is, you're probably more than likely plugged it into the motherboard. I'm guessing that's what you're doing. You're probably playing on integrated graphics. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I was about to actually look up what is NTE. Do you think the 7800 X3D, 9800 X3D should be? Oh yeah, for sure. I think that would be the best ideal processor for most gamers out there. If you're looking for the gamer's CPU, it's definitely between the 7800 X3D and the 9800 X3D. Those are the two processors that you want to go after for. Those are more than likely, I would say, is the creme of the crop. That is what you want to get. Neverness to everness, the optimization is just horrendous. Pardon the pun, but make for it. Yes, certainly make the wonderful RAM prices great again. So it is good to 9070 XT. The 5080 would have to be priced near MSRP to make it worth the small performance difference. Yeah, 7800 X3D definitely seems a lot safer compared to all the different issues you've been hearing about the 9800 X3D. As you know, the 9800 X3D has quite a bit of controversy, especially when it comes to the volting, or it's getting overvolted. It's very sensitive to the point where if you even go over about 1.25 to 1.3 volts, then it gets a bit sensitive into even possibly burning up. 7800 X3D has some cases. Obviously, it's not nearly as large compared to the 9800 X3D. But I can certainly say, if you were to go with the safer CPU and you want to make sure 7800 X3D is great, the only difference between the two, between the 7800 X3D, the X3D and the 9800 X3D, that is that there's a 10 to 15% IPC increase on the 9800 X3D compared to the predecessor. But that's going to be relatively low if you convert it over to the actual frames. And then you're not going to see a significant decrease in performance if you choose to go 7800 X3D. Again, still one of the best processors to go for, especially if you can get it for an awesome deal. If you look up a 7800 X 3D here onto Newegg, I'm pretty certain we can find a decent deal. Now this one, they have a B650E with the 7800 X3D for $475.99. Honestly, not that bad. Now, if you're looking for memory, they do have a memory kit, and it's for $636, and it's by Team Group. Decent memory kit. I know some people are not, does not favorite it, and Nellis, great to see you. No, it's okay. It's all great. No. Just tell your boss to also tune in. I'm kidding. So I have your 9070 XT and a 13900K. Just trying to figure out if buying an X3D CPU is really worth for a mid-range card. Now, it just depends on what you're trying to do here. Now, it's only worth getting it on a mid-range card if you're more or so playing more CPU-intensive games. That's where you will find your gaming to be truly effective. Now, of course, it's going to also help in other games, especially when you're running onto your actual V cores. You'll see a much less load onto the actual CPU, and onto your RAM will actually end up using less memory as well. But again, it's going to be minimal on a game where it doesn't really require that much VRAM, truly. Not VRAM, that much RAM. But for games that are heavily reliant on RAM, for example, there's this new game that's coming out, and it's a familiar title that everybody's knows about. What is that game called? But anyway, the minimum requirement was 32 gigabytes, and the maximum requirement was 64 gigabytes. So that's just quite insane. For that type of game, you're going to certainly see an X3D processor take full advantage of something like that, or games that require like Unreal Engine 5 where it's just CPU heavy, or games like Monster Hunter's Wilds where it's pretty much CPU heavy. So what RAM do you have if you're trying to use DDR 5600, I'm assuming, or something that the AMD might be worth it. That's a great question that you're asking. Hidden Bull will certainly help you out. He's definitely one guy to certainly go to. If you guys haven't been part of the Discord, make sure you join the wonderful Discord. Feel free to join it. It's absolutely free for everybody to join. Just click the link and you can join in and be part of the wonderful fan bam. And also feel free to ask any questions. I also share different findings, different pricing, and also if you're looking for any specific kits, you're looking to do a Steam build, feel free to let us know. Also, right now, I'm also in the works of trying to get another build together. I'm thinking of doing some sort of micro ATX type of build. So that is what I'm currently working with now. Hopefully we can get the components that we're looking for. But as soon as we do, the wonderful members will certainly know first, as I will share with you guys. So Steven says, I have a good CL30, 6,000 megatransfers RAM for a 7800X3D. And that's what you really want, because for anybody that is going into AMD, because I'm sure you guys heard some great things about AMD, that's the true magic number. You want CL30 by 6,000 megatransfers. And the reason why is that's so you can access the Infinity Cache. If you access the Infinity Cache, that will give you a much more improved and tremendous gameplay for that. That or 6400 megahertz is also a great key to go to too. So I'm with a friend on call, and the cables are on the GPU. It's pulling 572 watts, and it's 79 degrees, and got 20 frames per second. But he's also using full ray tracing, which is close to path tracing. Full ray tracing is practically path tracing. So I'm on DDR4 trying to help a buddy build a PC. He's got X3D stuck in his head. Yeah, just you have to really truly find out if he's taking advantage of that. But to answer Skydale, if you're getting 572 watts, he's pulling in 79 degrees, so it's obviously using the GPU. Again, make sure he's plugged into the right port. It can technically still be pulling out of the GPU in a sense, but you have to make sure that he's in the correct port, that he's plugged in directly to the GPU and not the motherboard itself. I would not spend half my budget on a GPU. Because GPU is where you want to have the best improvement, especially for those who are looking to game. Now, for anybody that was into PlayStation, keyword was, welcome. We all welcome you. Congratulations for entering the correct side of things, as we like to say. Welcome to PC Master Race, as we all like to say. But anyway, if you join into PC gaming, it's definitely a wonderful world of pretty much you have access to the game on anything. And of course, the advancements, we got to say, like when it comes to PlayStation 5 emulation is incredible. I certainly do love the advancements. I mean, we got to give a round of applause to the people that are able to run Astrobot through the boot menu, and even close to the point to where they could get into the whole bootable to actually get into the game and actually play. So I can see that happening really soon. So I also have 4 PCs, so I'm not in a hurry. I get that too. 2030, no more GPU. We will probably have FGPU, which is frame generation processing unit. Or, you know what we could actually have, instead of GPUs, we can have more like AI accelerators. So instead of like running on actual rasterization, we'll be running off of neural rendering, which is something NVIDIA would love for us to do. Same thing with AMD, which could honestly happen. It will be likely a subscription to unlock FPS. Yes. Could you imagine that? That would just be horrendous. You know how many people will go to Linux? You already have people thinking about going to Linux as it is now. Just imagine how much bigger it's going to get if this whole Linux era ends up happening. But I'm really curious to see July's numbers, especially since the Steam Machine has released. And since the Steam Machine has released, to see how many people has actually entered the Linux era and has been willing to enter the Steam hardware survey. I'm just curious how many units are actually released into the public. So I got great news for you, Smitty. I got a great website for you for a downloadable RAM. And I'm not kidding. Like, for anyone that needs RAM, guys, I will send you The website is called downloadmoreram.com, and I will share it with all of you. And I'll show you how to do it. So if you guys simply want to get some more RAM, you just go to here, right? You click download RAM now, and you got some great testaments where you can download 8 gigabytes, you can download 32, 64, even 1 terabyte. So say you want that whole 1 terabyte, you click download now, and you can get a wonderful 1 terabyte in an instant. You get RAM through the cloud. Now it is installed successfully. Uh, you gotta love the internet. But yeah, there you go. That's how you can get some wonderful downloadable RAM. So the copiers I sell already charge for a speed license. It's the same exact. It's a trap. I know exactly. It's the same exact machine that can print at 40 pages a minute or 80, but you got to pay something that it can already do. Yeah, it's what it's like. It's like HP when it comes to their inkjet printers. As soon as you run out of ink, that they deliver the ink right away. It's kind of like similar like that. Yeah, it's like almost a lock subscription. So as soon as you run out, it will notify them and automatically deliver ink. It's really slick. So I was watching benchmark of a 486 PC. RAM speed was at 20 megabytes per second. So our internet speeds are faster than RAM when it was in the 90s. That is truly insane when you think about that. I bet it would have cost RAM remote. Yeah, I get free RAM from the cloud. Exactly. And your warranty is void if you don't use their absolutely. Yep. So make sure if you're in need of any ink, make sure to go directly through the supplier of HP if you get the automatic deliveries. I feel like it's such a trap anymore. Like when it comes to certain brands such as that. Excuse me, had to get some fresh water. Had to re-wet my vocals there. So anyway, for anybody that is looking to build a PC, the best options are for those, especially that don't have a micro center near you. How does AI RAM work? When I need ink, I just buy a new print. Yeah, it is true though. Technically, you ever notice that you buy a brand new printer, it's like $30, and then you compare it to the actual ink cartridges, it's like 40. But I'm curious, Hidden Bull, I gotta ask you, especially since you run a business too. Personally, for me, I use a laser printer. Do you also use a laser printer? Because I feel like the toner is a big lifesaver compared to inkjet. Because the problem with inkjet is, as you know, the printer heads, inkjet heads, they do end up drying up if you do not use your printer enough, which is one of the major issues when it comes to it. And then you have to color laser jet. Yes, that's exactly what I have. You have exactly what I have then. Same thing. I got color laser jet. Inkjet is, I wouldn't, $62 for ink. That's just so insane. Like how can they get away with that with ink? I know it comes with ink. Yeah, that's funny. $62 for ink or 35 for the. I know. Talk about disposable societies. This is certainly a indication of disposable societies. I don't miss printer issues at all. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna throw a survey out there because now most of the people that probably use printers are people that are, of course, from the OG era. I can say, I'd say the OG era for sure still has printers or still has a concern for printers. So, do you have a printer? I'm just curious if people actually have a printer or not. So, do you guys actually have a printer? So, I'm going to throw that out there to answer you, put one or two. I'm just curious how many people actually have a printer now. Because it doesn't come to me to a surprise that many people don't truly worry about printers anymore. You guys got printers, good. Dark Solid does not. Now, in the 90s, computers were 3,000. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It was bad and stayed bad forever. The replacement cartridges have about. Yeah, it's true. They do. And then, yeah, you ever try refilling the actual cartridge? Like, you ever have any luck? I feel like it was always messy for me when I did it. It would work sometimes. Waffle Skater. No longer use printers or scanners. No, but I keep telling myself I should get one, but I don't know what type to get nowadays to avoid getting scammed. Just avoid the printers that have RAM in it. If you get a printer with RAM in it, you're in for a world of hurt. The printer heads clog. Usually not a problem of running. Yeah. That's exactly the problem. It's usually the printer. And the reason why that happens is because it doesn't get used enough. And Ella says I use LaserJet to print patterns for circuit boards. Then you transfer them onto PC. Oh, really? That's pretty cool. That's a cool process. Yeah, I was always interested in doing something like that, creating try creating your own motherboard. Actually, create your own PCBs. The new money drain are 3D printers. Yes, I agree because the filaments can get expensive. RAM, you say, shouldn't you be buying the printer with free? Yeah, with free RAM. And just make sure. So, guys, if you are in need of RAM, just make sure you go to this wonderful website here and take a look at the wonderful testimonies here. You got over 12 million happy users, and they can certainly tell you how it works. And you got some verified reviews here. So you got, I downloaded 64 gigabytes, and now my computer levitates 3 inches off my desk. The RGB LEDs are visible from space. And then one says, my IT department said that it was impossible. I showed them to my task manager. Then I cried and got promoted. And lastly, download the 1 terabyte plan and accidentally created a small black hole. 10 to 10 would download again. So there you go. There's the wonderful testimonies. Pixel, what's going on? His name is Ramlord. I know, it's hilarious, right? That's how confident he got after he downloaded the RAM. He had to call himself Ramlord. So I asked him to double check the cables and to run another game. After rechecking, he then started Forza 6. Everything max extreme, ray tracing max, and got 4K. Oh, wow. No DLSS. So it sounds like he's okay. So it sounds like it's more of a game issue. So can you repeat once again, which game exactly is it? I know you gave me the abbreviations, but I'm just trying to pick up exactly which game it is, because I'm pretty curious on what type of game he's currently running, because if it could be running hard. Always verify checksum on your RAM downloads. Yes, that is a great tip, /builds. Make sure to check some. After I finally built my PC, my brother trashed on me for being into computers, and then the very next day he told me he's building a computer. Awesome. Hey, that's how it is. It becomes an addiction. You start to want to. He told me PCs are not a man's job. That's hilarious. And now look at him. He must not be a man. He's telling you something. He's not. That means he's not a man anymore. You have to ask him what happened then. So, for anybody, again, if you're looking for anything specific, like a 7800X3D, and you're trying to find a bundle, this is how you find it on Newegg. You type it into the search bar, and then you go into the X3D, and then from here, if you go to the bottom here, you'll actually see where the bundles are pretty much hidden. Now, if you're looking for a specific board, I did bring one up earlier, like the B860, which is more of like a microboard for those who are interested into the for those who are interested in, say, like the 270K plus and want to take advantage of it. Here goes one by ASRock, a B860 Pro A. And if you go further down, let's see if they don't have any bundles available for this one. Let's try this one, the Challenger. I feel like the B860s will be a bit more tough to find a bundle. And unfortunately it is. But these are awesome motherboards to go with. More than likely, you probably definitely have a better deal with something like a Z890, because they've, of course, been around quite a bit here. So, honestly, now, if I ever upgrade my GPU, I'm going to get something high-end, like the Zotac 5080 or the Founders Edition. Hey, if you go all out, Definitely nothing wrong with that. I definitely support it, and I'm sure many of us certainly does support exactly what you go through. The game is called Neverness to Everness, which is gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So anyway, the Z890, for example, if you take a look here, the Z890H Gaming Wi-Fi Z8. Wonderful, wonderful OBS here. There we go. We're reconnected. Yes. OBS kind of acted up there for a second. My 2080 Ti could definitely hold me over for a couple of years, but in the meantime, I'm going to start saving for this new build. Probably won't be able to build until 2029 to 2030, but you never know. Hey, you might surprise yourself, and hopefully the pricing does certainly improve. If it does, maybe that would be a nice opportunity for you to build. I just sincerely hope that the pricing certainly does not get worse to where it becomes to the type of environment where it makes it impossible for you to build a PC. Now, you think I should buy a 4070 Ti Super for $700? If you could get it for $700, sure. It's honestly not a terrible deal, considering what the volatility of the market is today. Now, using Zotac 5080 for a year, as one of my cards, very happy with it. But in small cases, it can run above 80 Celsius. If you run into a room in a case, yes, I would imagine so. Yeah, Zotac is decent. It is decent. I think the Lian Li V100 Vector case is an awesome case. I still have a single 2080 Ti still holding strong. I'm telling you, anybody that still has any of these RTX cards, it's worth holding on to. I think they actually hold a much more value and much more weight than many people realize, and it's only going to get better. If game optimization was better, our cards wouldn't last longer. Let's hope so. At this point, they don't really have a choice. And the reason why I say that, why they don't have a choice, is because you look at PlayStation 5, they plan on keeping it out for so long. They plan on keeping it out till, say, like 2028. So they're forced to optimize. They're forced to optimize to people's systems for what they have now. You look at Steam's survey, this is where they should base their optimizations from, because the majority of PC gamers use Steam. Where is it? Oh, I'm actually using it right now. It's on this PC right here. If you guys got to check out that Lian Li fans, they're awesome. The Unifans, check it out. I have a video based on it, but in fact, I actually installed those fans onto the same build I used, the Noctua RTX 5080. Gas out, great to see you. Oh, and that also reminds me, anytime I see gas out, I have to say it. We're up to $205 on the Threadripper build, guys. We will eventually get there. As you see, that is our goal. We're trying to get this Threadripper build done, but we got $205. Let's go. We can do it. We'll get there. Maybe in 2030. Hey, so Lian Li controller is on the way. My build is put together, but so not too much further. So Zotac is the cheaper option. Micro Center, no one knows it's good. And there's a ton of them. That's the crazy part. Zotac is 20 years old now. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, right? How fast time goes by. So I also have the 2080 Ti from the EVGA. Oh yes, it's classic. You know how bad I felt when I was working on the PC? I took out the 3080 Ti by EVGA. I was like, man, this is something that's definitely worth keeping on to hold on to. It's not worth selling. It's truly a collector's piece at this point. So instead of going with the 7800 X3D, I am thinking of changing the case to keep everything cool. That's not a bad idea. You know, honestly, I thought of also swapping out the case of this current Threadripper build, but then I thought, what's the point of that? Because I mean, at this point, I feel like I gotta replace the AIO and everything, and this Threadripper is getting old enough to where I have to be lucky enough to be able to find the AIO for this Threadripper, because at this point they don't truly have that anymore. Now I gotta look at my drawer. I might have a fitment for it. I just have to get a cooler that's compatible with it. I believe I'm gonna have to get like something like a something like Corsair's AIO for it to fit, because I believe I have some TRX4 backplates back there. So I have massive cooling issues trying to build my own Steam machine. Yeah, do it, man. I still got to experiment with mines, and we got this build upcoming sometime soon. It's gonna be a micro ATX though instead of a ITX. Took me 11 months to build my dream build. Hey, it's nothing like building your PC, and the accomplishment that it feels from it. So anybody that is coming from console and you're going into PC, you'll see exactly how it is, and you're gonna ask yourself, where have you been? Where has PC been your whole life? Um, so when you're building a Threadripper build to yes, absolutely. That is the goal. I want to play Crisis. And I'm trying to be able to download my. I'm trying to be on trying to take advantage of the top RAM. I'm trying to get the top RAM from the wonderful download more RAM, because we have to compete to the RAM lord. So EVGA have been replaced by Zotac or PNY, pretty much at this point. It can also cook steaks on the backplate. I think so. I think the backplate can definitely cook steaks. If you really wanted to, if I flipped the back of the Threadripper, I probably could. I would try the Steam machine build, but with the ITX board from the Asus for $500 to start. So a sweet dedicated build. I did the same with my first gen. You build it, it's your dollars, and exactly, it's your magic. So, got another question for you. If you would build a PC right now with a budget of 1,800 euros or dollars, would you choose, or would you? Yeah, of course. I would go DDR5 because it's easy enough and accessible enough. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, but DDR5 is so expensive. How can you? It's truly not that much more. It's $100 difference, if that. It might be even cheaper now. It might be a $50 difference. If you guys haven't seen the pricing of DDR4, I'll just show you. I can just show you exactly the pricing. Now, this kit is $239. Like, and then you can say, like, even at the cheapest, a 3600 megahertz kit. Now, this isn't even their fastest latency. CL18 is very decent to go with. Again, King Spec is not really something I would go to. I would go something more like either T-Force or Corsair is more closer to something that's a bit more reliable, like 240. Now you compare something that is DDR5, that is 32 gigabytes. My apologies, I've been under the weather, so you've been feeling what I will help. I promise. I'm sure you will. Again, there's no rush. We will eventually get to that Threadripper build. It will happen. Whether it's in 2026 or in 2029. So I was fortunate to not care about DDR4, so I reused it in the Z. See, if you already have it, it's a little bit different. If you do not have it, then you have to end up purchasing it. So, but if prices were better, I went to DDR5. Absolutely. Okay, so $419.99. This is for V color. You get $30 additionally off on top of it if you put this code. So that brings you down what, to $390. So you're spending about a little bit over $100 more. You're spending about a little bit over $100 more if you go for the RAM kit itself. Now, if you compare the actual kits and you're building a PC, this is where it's going to differ here. Yeah, exactly. CL30 timing's great. Micro Center bundle for 7600 extra D. Absolutely. Yes. And Dark Style's correct here. Definitely correct here. So I was looking back at some of the older graphics cards at the GTX 690. Has it got to be one of the worst? I remember that generation. And that was supposed to be even better. So now if we go ahead and go to a Z890, right? That's it. Let's just say we go to a X870E board. And we'll look at the same bundle. Now, if you look at this bundle, you're going to spend maybe with the RAM is about $718 total. And that's, you get the CPU, the motherboard, and you actually get the RAM together. So now if you try to go for a AM4 bundle, let's look up 5800 X3D, just say. Or maybe you try to go like with the 5000. I doubt they have any bundles for that, but let me just click this, see what type of bundles they have. So you can get the kit for about $529. So again, it's $100 difference. It's a little bit, you save just a little bit when you go, and this is 16 gigabytes. This is even 32. Let's do this again. I'm going to give it again. Give it a go again here. 5800 X3D. Yeah, exactly. Let's see if we could get 32 gigabytes. Maybe this is 32. No. You can't even get 32 gigabytes for that price. So see how it's nonsensical? So you would actually end up spending more to get AM4, which makes absolutely no sense. And this is just getting 16 gigabytes. Let's give a benefit of a doubt. Say like you go for 5500. Maybe something really cheap. AMD killed all dual CPU boards when they bought ATI. Yeah, I miss ATI too, man. ATI was amazing. All right, so let's see. Let's find a decent kit. This is actually a decent kit. You can get this for 280. Now, does it compare? This is where we have to question it. Does it compare? This is, again, a B550M with a Ryzen 5500, and this also comes with 32 gigabytes. No, 16. It's 16 again. What the hell? I don't know why they don't offer 32 gigabytes. Well, let's just entertain this. 16 gigabytes, we go with 5500. And then let's say we go with something like I don't know, something a little bit lower tiered. Maybe something like the 7600, right? Ryzen 7600. Because again, it's lower tier, budget friendly, and they don't even have any in stock. Okay. Ryzen 7700. And let's see what we can get here. It's probably not going to be much. They don't even bother bundling these. They have the 7700X. Yeah, let me see. Some of these ones barely. You would have to probably go Ryzen 9600. See if we find anything there. 384. Wow. That's too much. That makes no sense. That's not Newegg. I always forget you got to hit the sold by Newegg here too, which is important. 220. This is where, let's see if they have some sort of kit. Now the cheapest kit that they have is 589. So you see, like when you really compare pricing, you have to really know what you're looking for. Now this is a B850M. Honestly, it's not truly worth it compared to something like if you were to get like the 7600 7800 X3D kit, where you spend a little bit more out of it. Now it's not a bad deal considering you get 30 up to 32 gigabytes. No, 16 gigabytes. This is 16 gigabytes limit too. I don't know what the deal with that is, but yeah, this is definitely going to be a bit more expensive, but it does come with a cooler, so at least it's discounted there a little bit. Tell you the truth, I would go with the 5800 XT. It comes with a nice cooler. Yeah, a lot of them do. Like a lot of the older AMD processors used to come packed in with a decent stock coolers. But tell you that, but yeah, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad option to go. Now I'll shut down this poll. Now, for anyone that is thinking of building, so I ask you guys who are building, now I'm going to ask this. Are you interested in using AM4 or AM5? So I'll ask that, and we can leave that as the question out there. And it comes with the RGB cooler. It kind of reminds me of it's the AMD Prism, I believe they call it, the AMD Prism cooler that it would used to come with. So you can feel free to vote, put one or two. Which one would you prefer to go with? Now, I haven't tried 16 gigabytes at all. I have the Steam machine that we build. We have 16 gigabytes. We have a single module of 16 gigabytes, but I still have to test it out and see exactly how it runs. So far, I only got to test out Ninja Gaiden 4, and it seemed like it ran excellent there. RGB is bloat. Yes, it could be. And that's why, like, when we did this whole Steam Machine build, we wanted to make sure that it was completely RGB free. It's, if you take a look at it, it's sick looking. It's more focused on acoustics, so it's more about having a nice silent gaming a gaming rig where it performs well. And which again, it does great when it comes to Ninja Gaiden 4. I will have to try other titles which are a bit more demanding. I would love to test out. I should try out something like Black Myth Wukong just to get an idea to see how it runs. So I tried to run a machine with 8 gigabytes to burn in testing, and 8 gigabytes was only enough to load Windows. Wow. Yeah, that is true. It does have RGB on the front. It does have an RGB light in the front. RGB adds money to builds, but if it, or it just comes with it. Sometimes you can't help it. Some cases do come with RGBs, and you have no control of it. Like technically, the Game DS case that we do use, it's a phenomenal case. I love it. It's light. It's really light, compact, but you can fit a full ATX motherboard. But I can certainly tell you that it did come with RGB fans. Could I have chose to opt in and use the RGB fans? Sure, I could have used them. It has an RGB switch and everything to switch up the colors if you wanted to. But I wanted to focus a bit more on acoustics, so we ended up removing all the RGB fans that were on the case, and we ended up going full Noctua. So Pixel says apparently they were planning to release a Titan card for the 40 series, but they scrapped it. It was going to be called the Titan A. That's interesting. You're right about that. A lot of cases come with RGB fans. They do. Most cases, you can't get away from it, will come with RGBs at this point. But for those who got sick of the RGB look, I got to tell you, check out the Steam Machine build that we've done on the channel. I think you guys would certainly love a build like that for those who aren't big fans. I know Anellis is not a big fan of RGBs. He's mentioned it before. I forget which PC build it was, but I think it was the Leon Lee build we did. And on that Leon Lee PC build we did, he was like, why is there always RGBs on PCs? I can't, it adds to aesthetics. And I'm like, yeah, because some people truly like RGB. Some people like the RGB look. But again, it's like it's either a hit or a miss for some people. Either love it or you don't love it. So Hidden says, I don't like fans that like the blades, the ones that border lights and stuff look pretty good. Yeah. The ones that are overly lit. So are you guys interested in AM4 or AM5? Feel free to vote. For those who are curious who just came in and you wonder how to vote, you just simply put 1 or 2. 1 is for yes, 2 is for, oh, wait a minute. What? Why did I do that again? Let me reset the poll here. I gotta reset it. I just realized it says yes or no, guys. If your PC lights up your house, it's too much. I know. It doesn't match, right? Pretty annoying when it does that. Let's see. Oh, wonderful. And on top of it, I gotta plug in my mouse because my mouse has died. Perfect. Now I got my mouse back. Okay, there we go. So now I can fix this. There we go. Oh, my mouse died again. There we go. Perfect. What about AM6? That won't be for a while, unfortunately. AMD pretty much said we're not doing AM6 till 2030. So AM5, for those who plan on building a PC sometime soon, you have plenty of time. You don't have to worry that you did it too early or too late. So AM5, we got a majority of voters of AM5. CS is around the corner, and that should we think of next gen CPU? Yes, Zen 6 is a thing though. Zen 6, I have to say, is intriguing from the things that I've been reading, especially for those who are looking to AI self-learning. I believe Anellis would actually be very interested in this because the new CPUs, I've been seeing some crazy, crazy CPU core counts. You're talking about 72 cores, some wild numbers, 32 cores at like a small one. Probably Zen 6. I would hope Zen 6. I hope they lay off the AI for a little while. They have to understand that uh, most people out there has to have AI fatigue. Yes, thank you, Pixel. I'm glad you brought that up too. Yes, Zen 7 will also be on AM6. There is also some nice looking cases available with wood panel fronts. Yes, I agree. They do have some really nice cases to where you can take full advantage of that, of the wood panel fronting. AI will be, I know, and it's pretty, I'm pretty sure most people out there probably feel a bit irritated with that, where they don't want to see that. AI will be, you're gonna see, it's gonna not just be called AM6. I mean, not AM6. It's not gonna just be called Zen 6. It's gonna be called Zen AI 6 or AI Zen 6, whichever side it decides to go on. Just like almost like the Ryzen AI Max 395, right? So they're gonna start throwing those in the titles. And same thing with the GPUs. It's gonna get thrown down there. I was cooking dinner from, oh, nice, nice. Your dog eats well. He eats really well. I also thought about doing like something like that, like cooking some nice chicken thighs, but of course it's got to be boneless and everything. Of course, you guys know Jonah. Jonah is 14 years old, so we want to make sure that he still gets plenty of nutrition. The Asus Pro RPA 602 is calling my name. The brown. Oh, nice. That's a nice choice. So if you guys are curious to the one he is talking about here, let's see if they have it available. This one right here. It is really nice aesthetically. So if you're trying to look for something that is like a bit more professional, this would be a nice PC case to go with. And that kind of just fits in more as a regular workstation. And again, no RGBs for those who don't like RGBs. AIM 3 Plus with FX60. Oh wow, that's a throwback there. I remember FX. That used to be like the line to go to, but prior to the FX 6400. You're a great that yes. Yeah, you are that's what I gotta say. Steve, you are a great dog dad. My first desktop was at FX. Oh, 83. That's funny. You know, one of my favorite AMD builds back in the day has to be this. You guys might be familiar with this. AMD 3800s. What was it? The 3800s. AMD Athlon 3800, right? The X30. Yeah, I think it was this one. You guys remember this? This was one of my first like AMD builds that I went to. Was this when I first like started building PCs? And where it was starting to get like competitive against Intel. But the AMD Athlon 64, this was the one I would go to. And I gotta say, like ever since then, just built PCs. Wood theme needs Noctua fans. Absolutely. I gotta ask you, Hidden. If you saw someone use that Pro build, if you saw someone use the Pro Art PC build from Asus, and they used RGBs, would you immediately say something to them? You would use orange or white lighting with the wood. That's interesting. I don't even think I was alive at the time. Well, no, that's all good. That's all good, tinfoil. We were just talking about some throwbacks here. My first true gaming CPU was a Pentium 4H. Yeah. And you know what the funny thing is? I was deciding between the two because this was like slightly cheaper, but it also performed really well. And that's why I went with the Athlon 64. I forget what was the competitor to it at the time, but I remember it was an Intel Pentium 4. I believe it was a Pentium 4 and it was a Pentium, but of course it had hyper-threading. That was the big thing at the time, was the whole hyper-threading. Um, but at the time too, dual cores didn't exist. Everything was based on single core processing. I am 65. When I was a teen, I was playing Pong and Space Invaders. Hey, I'm telling you, I couldn't imagine the evolution since then. Like, just imagine witnessing that. Like, you went through playing Pong and Space Invaders as like your first tier games as a teenager, and then like you see how everything is today. I mean, we have RGB tandem lighting when it comes to monitors now. You have GPUs that would be like a size pretty much of a PC now, like of like back in the day. It's just wild. Uh, Dexmax, what's going on? Uh, I will build that case with the orange lighting. That's pretty awesome. That's a good idea. Yeah, it would kind of give it more of like a smoker's flare, right? It would feel like you have a cigar. You would have a cigar right along with your PC. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Nice, nice. That's oh, okay, okay. Ah, so that's what you mean by Joyo. Nice, nice. Um, but yeah, like it would seem like you would automatically have a Pro Art PC. It would seem like it's nice and chill. Have a nice little glass of whiskey on the side there. RTX 5090 versus, I know, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't even think of that. Like, just imagine you showed somebody at that time a RTX 5090. They would have absolutely no idea what that is. You look at the 5090 compared to like something like an Atari.
Dexmex Tex is now following.
Thanks for following Dexmex. Certainly do appreciate it. Um, but I do gotta say, um, yeah, for everything I get when it comes to the whole side of CPUs, it's changed quite a bit. It certainly has changed quite a bit. Did you ever find the AMD Halo AI system? No, I never got a chance to look that up actually. You just reminded me. No. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So let's go ahead. And before we get started here, just got to remind everybody that's just coming in, we have to download some more RAM. I'm starting to run a bit out of capacity here. So we got to hurry up and download another terabyte here. And let's go ahead and get a little bit of a boost here. Because with great power requires great responsibility here. So we are successful in our 1 terabyte installation here. now let's go ahead and be able to go to the next steps here. So let's go into now for anyone that's looking to build a bundle, most people will automatically go down here and see this combo kit that they have by AMD, $1,008. Now, most people that are first time building a PC are obviously going to say, who the hell is going to spend $1,008 on 3 components? Why would I spend so much? I do have a Discord group. Yeah, it just came up actually. Right up here, it just passed. I'll post it for you. It's right there. That's the Discord group. And I'll paste it once again. Or actually, you can actually just type this in and Discord actually come up. It should come up. There you go. And just click that and you just go into the rules side there. So, no problem. So, what's like, I need 164. For anybody that is concerned, anybody needs some RAM, you need some RAM power, I got you guys. I got you guys. If anybody says, oh no, it's impossible, you can't afford 1 terabyte, well, this is how you can download some more RAM. You can shut them the hell up once you show them the power of RAM. But anyway, yeah, most people will go to the combo side here and say, and see $1,008, obviously expensive, definitely more than a PS5. I get the idea, a PS5 Pro, I mean, and I saw 128 for 35. That's ridiculous, man. That's just ridiculous. So, that's just shameful. That should be illegal at that point to charge over $3,000 for RAM. It's insane. It's like almost like a 5090. It just makes me want to go into a tangent when I see this. And if this continues, it's going to end up getting me into a tangent. But anyway, if you're looking for a kit and you're brand new, you're coming from PlayStation 5 Pro, I get it. You're going to want to look for at least a motherboard. RTX 5060 is decent. If you're looking for something that's relatively 1080p type of gaming, you can get away with something like that. But Skydale, to be honest, if you go 8 GB, I honestly just go AMD. And the reason being is because at least you can get away with going onto Steam OS. RAM again lives. It just doesn't freaking end. It does not want to end. Like, for example, if you're trying to pair something, go with a B850 at the minimum. It's a great board to go with. Now, you can find an X870E equivalent of the board, but more than likely, you're probably not going to need that power anyway. Great options are like these as you wish boards, or this strict A board, and a combination with. This doesn't have a combo, unfortunately, but we'll just go back to tough since we know it has a combo. You just go down here and you can actually find a better kit, which is about $625, and it comes with a CPU cooler. So that's the trick. That gets you 4 components already for a PC build. So, and all you need really is the GPU. You need an SSD and a PC case and a power supply. Those 4 things, that's all you need. My RAM better not go bad. Yes. As long, you see that, guys? As long as if you follow and subscribe, your RAM will stay good. For those who chose to enter the dark path or walk the dark path, well, unfortunately, there's dark forces working on that RAM already. send that warranty card in. Yes, I highly recommend for those who are thinking of doing the latter to send in the warranty card, and they may never get it. So get a 5060 Ti 16 GB or better, 5070 or AMD. That's what I'm saying. Steve's correct. Go AMD, man. AMD is definitely a great way to go. B850M version by Asus. I find it hard to find an M8TX board. It is difficult. I was searching around. I seen some things that are interesting. I actually got an idea. I want to share this with you guys. Actually, I'm working on this. Hopefully, I can get my hands on this. Now, I will share with you guys since you guys are here. Let me hurry up and try to find where it is. Okay, perfect. So this is one of the boards that I want to share with you guys as one of the. I really wish there was a Micro Center or Newegg. I feel bad for you guys. I know I feel horrendous. Hopefully, Micro Center will expand internationally. I think they would end up doing great if that was the case. But this is actually one of the ideas that I have is this motherboard for the B850M. I'm going to scroll down a little bit so you guys can see it. I want this as a project coming up, and is one of the ideas for a project ATX-M. That's a great, yes, as long as if it allows me to download more RAM. CEX. I hear so many things about that place though. So so as long as if it allows me to link to download more RAM, why not? Why not build my LLM? So I need a Micro Center near me. Closest one is 4.5. Oh man. I'll tell you what though, if you make a trip out of it, it's 100% worth the trip. You'll probably go out there. Same here. 50. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Chris, I went over 16 GB on my 5060 Ti on my Resident Evil 9. I turned on pad tracing and went to turn on 2x frame generation around it. Really? I had a feeling that would happen because on my 5090, I'll tell you on the 5090, I tested this with Resident Evil on max pad tracing. When it comes to Resident Evil 9, it still struggled even up to 60 frames. So that just gives you an idea how demanding pad tracing truly can be. Tell at 5,000 when you go. Yes, at least have some extra cat. But I live in the. Yes, it's worth it. But I live in the homes of Micro Center. You know, it doesn't hurt to put on a. It doesn't hurt at times if it really gets when times get tough. you can always put a wonderful ninja mask when you go to Micro Center. I'm sure they will appreciate it because that's where all the good stuff is. Uh, Add $200 for gas to my PC parts run. Yes, and that's the thing. You got to pay extra for gas. And I'm sure if the gas station accepts cash, wear your ninja mask. So anyway, overclockers and scan is the closest you're going to get, and that's not saying a lot. Yes, 9 hour. You might as well book a Airbnb while you're at it if you do end up going out there. So it looks like most people are interested into AM5. So I will shut the poll down for that. Most people certainly would go AM5. So for the next project, this is the type of motherboard that I do want to get involved with you guys and share with you guys. Let me switch to this other browser so that way you can see it here. Let me see. So that way I can show you the wonderful pictures. So it looks like this. Yeah, I think this is a really nice board to work with. I think this is interesting. So again, Project Stealth. I like this idea. So what do you guys think of this? Do you think eh, BTF boards can potentially stick around? I just think, unfortunately, for this time era, BTF, yes. The board Dell uses BTF is pretty much all the connectors in the back. So instead, you notice that you have the CPU connector. Sorry about that. Up here, you have the CPU connector up here onto the top. You have your ATX connection right here onto the side of the bottom, and that's all you truly need. Of course, you have your USB connections down here on your bottom. You have your front panel I/O. You also have your audio. You also have your USB-C, your SATA ports, all down here onto the bottom. Yes. I believe that they will certainly stick around. Unfortunately, because of the pricing of everything, I think that certainly caused quite a bit of an issue. I think these certainly would get even more popular if they could. I think many people would be interested in building a motherboard with. I'm building with something, and yeah, I'm glad you asked, champ. This is why I'm doing it. It's ironic, but this is going to be pretty much a micro ATX build that's going to be stealth. And it's going to be in a nice case too. It's going to be in a decent case. I couldn't find one in a white micro ATX, so I gave up and bought the Asus. It's crazy how limited the options are. And of course, when you do purchase a white motherboard or any white components, unfortunately, it's limited. I took a look at it, and the stealth GPUs are very limited. All they have is a stealth 3070 or a stealth, I think, 5090. So if I did do a build with this, it's those two choices, those two options. And I feel it wouldn't make sense to get a stealth 5090 for a build like this. Because again, people are not going to spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a on a build like this. I mean, maybe they will, but it's going to be a very small select group of people. Don't you guys agree? Unless you truly want to see like a stealth 5090, I will have to get on my knees really good for the brands to try to get this stealth 5090 here. So this is the first white build, and yeah, and that's the thing. It can be truly a pain. I know. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty niche. Yeah, and can you? If I end up getting it, just know how much I had to do, how much sacrifices I had to do in order to get it. Pixie Tuna, what's going on? What are you doing with the build? So far, it's very early in the stages. I actually started gathering up to like as early as today. That's how early on the process I am in the build planning. So it's going to be based on this. And also, I got to figure out the rest of the components. I have some other great ideas, but if you guys want to see anything particularly, feel free to let me know. I'll try to make it happen too. Should I get MSI or ASRock for MATX? Honestly, either one's they're great boards, either one. It's just really preference. ASRock is actually great when it comes to pricing. MSI is too. I would say I'd say they're about dead even when it comes to that. When it comes to the whole pricing side, when it comes to their M8TX. Gigabyte might hook you up for the Stealth 50. Yeah, but yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, I know. I would have to again do get, I would have to again get really good on my knees there. So anyway, are you gonna sell or keep it? So what I'm gonna have to so what I'm gonna do is currently keep it. Uh as of now, what I might do, it just depends on how much pile up as I have now. I already have like 3 PCs that are like back here. So this would end up making 4. And I do have to end up offloading some. Now, what I might do is if we end up getting over a certain amount of subscribers, like once we hit probably over the 20K mark, I'll probably end up giving one of the PCs away, like at Micro Center, and we'll end up we'll end up taking a look at which ones, and we'll figure it out. Because again, and the reason, one of the also reasons why as well, it's pretty tough to sell PCs as it is today. One of the guys, Hidden Bull, can certainly tell you that. So I've been running ASRock motherboards for years, been good to me. That microcoding or whatever it is, that error still occurs frequently. Oh, really? You're talking about 13, 14 gen? Like when it comes to the actual processor itself? So let's go back over to here to the Brave side. As, let me see, get back here. Where'd it go? Let me see. Maybe I gotta click on something else here. There we go. I just saw it. Oops, sorry guys. Just trying to get over to my browser here. Now it's being very particular. You know what? I'll just stick on my other browser then. Whatever. F you too, Brave. So I'll go over here. I'll go over, not this one. And I'll go over to my Firefox one. There you go. So anyway, so I never tried setting up Linux before, but I am very interested in trying it out. Do you have any tips? Patience. Lots of patience. If you want to set up Linux, go Linux Mint to start with, just to get an idea of how it feels like. I would recommend dual booting. Also, before you even dual boot, try virtual machine. Test out Linux first, see how you like it first. You'll want to use something like VirtualBox. And then once you use it and get a little bit familiar with it, then install it as a dual boot. If you got 2 drives, that makes it easier. If you don't have 2 drives, that's fine. You go partition the drive and dual boot it in that sense. Yes, I got to play a little bit of it so far. What I managed to do with it was I was able to play Ninja Gaiden 4. I do want to play other titles. As you guys know, we were very busy this week, especially with Liam Lee's new releases when it comes to the Unifans. Their Unifans are awesome fans, so I was kind of truly busy with that. But I do plan on messing with SteamOS some more, and I want to see how it performs truly. Yes, I do. Currently, I do have it on my, the pass system that we just have. 2 drives is great. 2 drives will make it easier. You can set it to dual boot. I'm on Linux, switched a few months ago after 30 years on Windows. I'm enjoying. It's a nice refresh, and honestly, you'll see how refreshing it truly feels compared to using something like compared to using Windows. Windows is complete. It makes you feel like Windows is complete garbage. And if you guys don't, I know I already talk enough trash as it is about Windows, but I mean, come on, guys. Like Microsoft thought it was a great idea to grab a person who never touched Windows a day in their life and say, "Hey, can you help us design Windows 11 to be a bit more friendly?" And all the whole time that they've ever used a Windows was that when they first created it, and the only thing that they've ever used was a Mac OS system. So that's why Windows 11 is the way it is today. So again, there's nothing wrong with Mac OS. I mean, I have a MacBook myself, as you guys know, But I'm just saying, if you got somebody that um, is going to design a Windows OS, at least have some experience on Windows. So anyway, it is difficult to say. No, it is not. I will do a video based on that. So it got me back into PCs again. That's awesome. I'm glad you're back in. It says also so calm compared to Windows. It's literally like, yeah, because you have to constantly worry about the random ass updates that they consistently bombard you with, which are completely unnecessary. Trying to get my Brave working, guys. Let me see. Let me try this again. I'm going to close it and then go back in. Isn't there like a Windows OS? Yeah, there is, but again, it's not truly like a Windows OS. It's kind of like it's more or so uh like Windows Lite. It's like it's almost like, but and it's not great. It's more for development. um I can't think of the name off the top of my head. But they do have it. They do have it. It's like a Linux-based Windows, an open source Windows. But it's something I would not recommend for everybody. As of now, it's hot garbage. But just use Chris. Yeah, yes, yes. Windows. Yes, thank you, Smitty. It's don't use just use a Linux Mint in the beginning. And what you want to download is something like a VirtualBox. I'll show you. Get a VirtualBox. Like this Oracle VirtualBox. And then you're going to download it. And once you do, you can install it like it's another computer. It's a computer within a computer practically. It's like an emulator. Think of it like an emulator. Next, then you know what's going to be nice is when we start downloading PlayStation 5 emulators. Who's excited to play Astro World in about like 4 weeks? These Sony ponies are going to be so pissed when you can start playing games such as Astrobot. What a wonderful title, right, guys? Along with the titles such as Last of Us Remastered 2. Ezekiel, what's up? Glad to see you, bro. Thank you for joining in. I wish there was a PS5 emulator. I would guys, you got to tell them. You got to tell them, guys. So, Oz Guru says, "Hey, what do you think of the 75? Go for it. It's actually a great deal. We can look at it. In fact, we can look at it together." Nice. Hopefully your work's nice and smooth today. Hopefully you got your nice cup of Java with you. Let's go into AMD. This is the bundle he's talking about, guys. This one. Absolutely worth it. We actually chose when we went to Micro Center, we ended up opting in for the 7600 X3D. And we ended up getting the X870 board. In fact, that's the Gigabyte board, the Gigabyte Eagle. And we actually bought it for $400 and I think it was $30. So we spent a little bit more, but this is also a nice kit to get to. 16 gigabytes of RAM is the only thing. Yes, it'll be limited. If you're streaming, you're going to have to be willing to expand it a little bit. If you're willing to, go for the 32 gigabytes if you can get it. I know 32 gigabytes forces you to spend that. At the minimum, it seems like $600 at the minimum, unfortunately. Let's see. Yeah, 700. What's the other one? 650. That's probably the cheapest. But that could certainly get it for you, but you'll be at 9700X, which you more than likely probably don't want, and you'll be based on the B650. It's a good board though. It's a good motherboard. It's just the RAM that you're truly trying to pull out of this kit. Now, if you upgrade it, you could get the white one for a little bit more. It's $30 extra. I mean, at that point, I'll go with the 7800. Yeah, That's how they get you, man. Like when you go there, you're like you originally intentionally aim for the 7500 XTD. At least that's what I was doing. And then I just kept upgrading to the point where I was like, I might as well just go for the 7600 XTD. And then it comes with the B650. But if I spend an extra $30 more, I can get the X870. So I might as well get the X870. So that's what I ended up doing. And then you get the 7800 X3D, which is, again, it's quite the upgrade. And this would be ideal. This would be very ideal. 7500 X3D is good, but streaming wise, to be honest, you need more multi cores. The more multi cores you have will be the advantage of it, because you're going to be multitasking practically. So that's why it's important to do so. Let me get that guy out of here. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the 7800, I'm telling you, if you do end up going with the 7800 X3D, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Next week. Yes, Darkstyle, you are correct. Without a doubt, Micro Center is going to end up having some sort of promotion for it and have some sort of combination with it. I'm just curious to see exactly what it's going to be. I wonder what Micro Center will end up doing when it comes to the 7700 XGD. Which reminds me, yeah, I gotta reach out to a couple more brands because I want to be able to make sure we get this build to happen. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Certainly excited for it. We will experiment more with Steam OS, as I was having a lot of fun with it. It was nice and easy. It acted just like a console. I was able to just use the controller directly through the PC, and that was it. Didn't even have it. You don't even need a keyboard and mouse. You can just turn it on from the controller and just really use it from there. Of course, you use the keyboard and mouse if you want to use it in desktop mode. Now, Concrete says that $800 $850 bundle looks worth it in today's market, but still overpriced. Yeah, it just, and we've gotten so accustomed to high pricing that we just ignore the fact of how much it truly costs at the point. It's just expensive. Everything's expensive. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it seems like the cheapest kit you can get is the 5500, of course. And again, that's more temporary. Sure, you can get a PC build done, but again, temporary. The 5800 XT, decent choice. This is something that's a bit more beefy and certainly can get you through it. But that's mind-boggling to me that they only give you 16 gigabytes, and they don't even give you 32 gigabytes of DDR4 anymore. So again, for those who say DDR4 is that much more expensive, I mean, DDR5 is that much more expensive, is it truly? Because you're only getting 16 gigabytes of RAM when it comes to this kit. So I think the 7700 X3D will be around 600 with 32. I agree. It's going to be a bit more affordable. I feel it's got to be priced under the 7800 X3D. Has to be that for sure. Thank you. Yes. And it's and most of them, and as you guys know, if you guys are not familiar with DDR4, it's limited to a certain select amount of dies. You have to have very specific dies in your DDR4 for it to function the way you would like. Like one of the key dies that you would need is Samsung B die when it comes to your RAM, and then you would really get upset. And for you DDR4 users, certainly know what I'm talking about here. You get really upset if you had a Samsung A die or if you had SK Hynix A die, and because it would just not perform as you wanted to, it would be limiting. But again, DDR5 is not that much more, especially for those who are trying to build a brand new PC. Now, if you already own it, different story. If you are building a brand new PC, you're at the moment right now, you're looking at your PS5 in disgust. It's so disgusting when you look at your PS5, you're throwing up because Sony's not hearing anyone's voices, and you're finally sick of it to the point where you go into PC. Then you go DDR5, you get the full kit. Speaking of which, let's go check out wonderful Sony these days. So why is the 7600X bundle and the 7600? It's because of different features here. Now the reason why they're the same price is once they're both 16. This one's B650 ASUS Max Gaming Wi-Fi White versus the B650 Gaming X AX V2. So they're two different types of motherboards. One could have more features than the other. Now, what is mind-boggling, I can say, is more or so the 7600X along with the, because this is the same motherboard, so I can't tell you for that. That makes no sense to me. That absolutely makes no sense. But hey, they somehow are able to. Yes, that is true. It is better in productivity wise. 7600X 3D is more for those who are looking to game and for productivity. Yeah, big difference, right? It's crazy. But let's go ahead and I'm going to update everybody here who is unfamiliar with what's going on here on the wonderful world of PlayStation. Because if you guys take a look here, this is what is happening. So many people are in discuss of PlayStation today that they literally throw community notes at every single update that PlayStation throws out. For example, 4 hours ago, they said, look out, here comes Amazing Guardians and Marvel Token Fighting Souls. Get to know Spider-Man's witty team. And the first thing you notice right here is that they get slammed with community notes. As part of Sony's ongoing push for purely digital marketplace, they control this game's required PlayStation Network account, renders this game unplayable for millions in over 130 countries. At least it's still available here. So you guys have a fun stream. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Oz, for joining in. Yes, I'm glad you found it helpful. Non-X3D CPUs have higher clocks that help productivity. Yes, absolutely. If you if you run it on Cinebench, you can certainly see the numbers, the difference in numbers. And for those who are curious, I want to share with you. Yeah, Sony being Sony, absolutely.
At Tony Haymunkits became a member. At Tony Haymunkits celebrates 4 months of membership. I'm late.
Oh, I love that. Celebrated 4 months of membership, but I'm late. It's okay. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Don't worry. I'll be streaming again on Saturday, if anything. But again, I'm still streaming at this moment now anyway. So yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're just getting into the conversation about PlayStation right now. Literally getting community noted on everything that they post because people want answers and Sony refuses to answer at all. In fact, they ignored them to the point where, like their audience does not exist. In fact, they said that people do not have to exist. But ironically, they have to have people purchase their products. Other than GTA, what titles does Sony? That's it. I think after GTA, and once GTA 6 fully comes to PC, I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell my PlayStation 5. I'm going to get rid of it because I don't like, right now, man, for the longest, and for those who have been with Sony for a long time can certainly tell you that it was one of the best companies that were truly around. But over time, Sony has deteriorated into, Sony PlayStation specifically has deteriorated into a shell of what it once was. So I am going to be very happy to sell my PS5 once the time comes around for it, because I do not agree with their ethics and how they treat their fan base. But again, there's going to be people out there who will certainly fight to the death for Sony no matter what, for God knows what. But and in fact, here's something I'm going to share with you guys too. Now, if you take a look at this, PS5 emulation hits another milestone within days, and again, Astrobot has successfully booted through the experimental Sharp Emu PS5 emulator. So again, the game reaches early loading stages, no menu stable graphics just quite yet, but Sharp Emu remains to be very early development with several cores of PS5, which is exciting. And just to show you how much progress that really is, within a few days ago, I kind of keep track of everything. So this was at the earliest stage. PS5 emulation is working now. We are still in need of development to run more games. And then, of course, 3 PS5 emulation projects are currently being developed. Sharp Emu can already render 2D games. Silent Hill, the short message reaches open logos and warning signs. Demon Souls Remake can produce its first video frame before entering the loop. So again, getting very close into development. So we're paying it, says rent, not buying is deceiving. Absolutely. It's absolutely deceiving. It's shameful at the point. Let me see. Oh my gosh. And I just realized I didn't have my wonderful chat box here. Let me see. That exists. Not this. Oh, here we go. There we go. Apologize for that, guys. I can't believe I left that off the whole time. Sony, you're poor and I hate you. Steam, you're poor and I love you. Xbox, we're dying, but we will never. Yeah, that's true. Xbox is kind of like that. We're dying, but we're never going to give up. So that gives you an idea of where they are in development, but we're getting close. We're truly getting close. Again, this is only a few days time. So just imagine how much the whole emulation could truly improve when it comes onto PC. Now, some people will think it demands some truly crazy requirements, but honestly, it's not going to require a whole ton of anything crazy. It'll be able to emulate well because it's very, very similar to the x86 architecture, which is based onto like kind of like Linux. You can run Linux on a PS5, so that just gives you an idea of why it runs so well. But yes, so for anybody that is curious or who is entering the realm of PC gaming, I gotta say, welcome in. Everybody will certainly welcome you here with open arms. Of course, you'll get some jokes that where they'll have people not, they'll act like they're not accepting you, but I can tell you, they will open up arms. I think Sony is getting rid of physical copies. May have been a move to current price. Oh, it gets worse too. This is, the whole digital games is just the beginning when it comes to Sony. In fact, there's something else I want to share with you guys too that they've done, which is Sony actually came out with their own stablecoin. Now, their stablecoin, I'm going to share with it to you on details here. Now, Sony Bank has received conditional improvements for the US OCC to establish a national trust bank. The company plans to issue its own US dollar backed, again, stablecoin. It could be purchased PlayStation games and other Sony digital products. So not only they don't want you to use like pretty much a credit card when you do make your purchases here, but they also do demand that you also do use their stablecoin. So again, that I like that. That's true. So that is also the other issue that in order for you to buy your games, you're not just going to purchase it anymore via credit card, that you will be purchasing everything through digital currency, similar to what it's like when you purchase your items in Call of Duty, where they had their own Call of Duty points, where in order for you to get your new maps or your new finishing move, you have to spend your points to get it. This is Sony's idea of, instead of using just regular USD, or euros or British pounds or whatever type of currency that you use. They want you to use their stable coin to do so, because what the purpose of this is to take away their own the cost of credit cards, truly. So all these tech companies that seem that they think consumers has the money for all the costs of RAM drives, where do they think this money is coming from? Apparently they believe that money does come from trees. Exactly. Non-refundable. So just imagine you end up buying this game that you thought it was decent. Say within the first 30 minutes, you're like, this game isn't for me. You can't do anything. You owned the license for so long, and then to the point where until Sony says, okay, you can't have this license anymore. It's no good. Pixel says, I will always be Team AMD. I don't blame you. Team AMD is certainly a good place to be. So again, this is something that they're pushing in 2027. And ironically, that's the same year that they're also pretty much trying to move away from physical disk. Not quite the year where they completely end disk, but soon after. Yes, I like AMD GPUs and Intel CPUs. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's always a good combination as well. None of these tech companies, they don't care. All they care about is making the most profit. In fact, it was to the point to where Sony, in fact, once they announced the news, it caused their market share, their stock price to actually shoot up for that reason. But no, I have my own reasons. Nothing wrong with your own reasons. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back. Be right back. Just hang in there. Jonah, you chill here. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to clear out my throat. No, it was my sickness getting to me. It was the wonderful clearing of the throat. Yeah. I haven't had one in a while either. I can't, honestly, what I look forward to the most is I can't wait to get back into the gym once again. My first the Team Red machine next month, but I keep hearing I have to overclock and under voltage to run it properly. Not necessarily. You don't have to. If you want it, you can tune it. You can tune it to the point. Which one's your favorite though? Out of curiosity, which one's your favorite Hot Pocket? Before Sony goes full digital, they need to release their pricing strategy. They haven't told us the structure of their plans. It's too soon, and consumers will be investing blindly. I think a lot of these, to be honest, Concrete, I think a lot of the people that were invested in Sony are at the point where they're actually fed up that they want to go to PlayStation. I mean, they want to go to PC. Oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Yeah, they're so fed up to the point where they're willing to get a PC because they look at the pricing when it comes to a disc. For example, let's go on Amazon, right? Let's go to Amazon and say we look up something here. Let's look up Ghost of Tsushima.
At Sheritard 91 super chatted $2. The only thing you need to use is Emacs.
Sure thing. Waiting to see specs on the 7700 X3D versus the 7800 X3D. Nice. Yes. I could share that with you. I have those. Yeah, just like this. Ghost of Tsushima's. That's how you know I'm hungry. I think of sashimi. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is $44.94. Now you compare it digitally. Let's go to PlayStation Store. Let's take a look here. Ghost of Tsushima. Okay. So, for you to play the game Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, they started adjusting the prices quick. It's actually $29.39. Originally, it was full price. Let me try a different title. There's some titles out there now. I got to think of another one. But there's some titles out there that you look up and it's too expensive. Like here you go, Ghost of Yote, right? Let's use Ghost of Yote for example. Now let's go onto Amazon here. Ghost of Yote. They got to make their choice.
At Cheritard 91 super chatted $2. There is nothing better than Emacs.
There you go. Charitar wants to make his point. They just did yeah, they did. Wow. Look at this. That is crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah, they've been, I guess they started noticing when people started calling them out on it that like some of their pricing was off. Like you could get a physical disc for much cheaper. I'm on a 9850 X3D and a 5090, but now building my second PC. Oh, that's right. You know, I just reminded. Sorry, Dark Style, not to cut off your comment, but today, you know what today is? Today is the PlayStation sale, so that's why everything's lowered. Just yesterday was, I think everything was at regular price, but today's the PlayStation sale, so that's why they're competing with their physical copies. But anyway. Dark Style says, I'm on the 9850 X3D and the 5090, but now building my second PC at the 7800 X3D and the 9070 XT. It's all built just by the CPU, and just the last piece of the puzzle just needs to drop one in. Oh, nice. Nice. You're not too far off. Yes, today is the sale. Makes absolute sense. No wonder why I'm like, hey, this doesn't match up like yesterday. There we go.
At Cheritard 91 super chatted $2. Emacs is love. Emacs is life.
There you go. Does it have people thinking of going Emacs? The 3090 Ti was a power hungry beast. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was absolutely a beast of its time there. There we go. Woo. Thank you for the super chats. That brings us up to what, 211, I think? 211 to get to our Threadripper build. So we'll get there, guys. We will get there. All due time. But that was the main reason there. That the pricing just did not match compared to digital. But because of the sale, it just makes me want to click on everything and compare it. Never really hear of anyone with a 3090 Ti. It's you don't hear it too often. I know one person that has it, and that's it. I only know one other person that has it, so that's like definitely a rare GPU to certainly find. And it's odd, but because you know why? Because it was out for such a short period, it's almost like it didn't exist. My dog's got man, he is eating good. And what type of dog do you have again, Steven? Right now, he's just... Jonah's just chilling here. He's just lying here, enjoying the life. Laying right by the PC. Any leftovers? 3080 was more common. Yes. That's something... In fact, I display a 3080. I displayed the 3080 Ti. What was that? The 3080 Ti? The 3090 Ti? That was it. That was pretty much their 24 gigabyte card. Same thing with their 3090. It was still 24. It was just a bit more enhanced. It was a bit better compared to the original. But at the time, people were using it to mine your Ethereum. That was the big thing. People would purchase them all out to buy to try to mine for Ethereum. But of course, times have changed. Yeah, even when the 40 series came out, the whole idea of that completely changed. I was looking for the 3080 before buying the 9070 XT. Now AI, yes. AI is definitely the new thing now. So people will take advantage of it for that. And they're pretty much like self learning, really. Everybody wants to have their own LLM. Now, I don't know how many people here are actually interested in creating their own LLM. Out of curiosity, has it made anyone interested here to actually build their own LLM to see to actually have it, just to have it? Yeah, it is. It pretty much is. It is the new mining method. It's crazy too. I should put that. I'm going to throw that on the poll, guys. So what I will do is I will write that out. Are you into local AI / LLMs? Feel free to answer yes or no. Are you into local AIs or LLMs? 3080 Ti, I would buy one even if it was a nice 320-bit bus, 12 gigabytes. If oh, that's funny too. No. AI has my interest. That's why I asked about AMD Halo system. Oh wow, it's 4K. It's very expensive. It's a very expensive test. DGX Spark is expensive even if you look at it. And that's the first things that you'll notice like when they advertise it here. They had it here. Let's see what they have. Because I just seen it. Right here. This is what people mostly look for, is this thing, the DGX. Now, of course, it's only at a wonderful price of $4,500. The GB10 ARM Cortex X925, 128 gigabytes of LPDDR5X, and 4 terabytes NVMe, 10 gigabit connection, Wi-Fi 7, and based on NVIDIA's GGX OS. What do you guys think of this? Who wants to use this for their local AI? I spent around $4,000 building my PC, probably closer to $6,000. But honestly, I'm honestly disappointed. Yeah, it'll play some games, but definitely not worth what I spent. I see. I can understand how you feel. You probably feel like you could have spent less and get the same performance. Am I correct, Tony? I literally got my RTX 2080 Ti for the same price as you get as a brand new 3050. The biggest bus I've ever seen was the R9 Fury using the HBM. Yeah, that's insane. Using HBM. I'd rather you buy it in new shed. It would hold its value a bit longer. Yeah, exactly. So something like this. This is exactly what it's for. It's to have a local AI for whatever you specifically want your local AI to do. And instead of going to things like ChatGPT, or you go onto any type of AI service like Claude or Google's Gemini, you can use the DGX Spark to do so, and it will be for your local server. You'll be able to access it and be able to pull the information that you want out of it. It's the way you create it. If I could get it by with my Raspberry. Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, you have Llama that still is technically a local AI people can run, and it's not as costly as something like this. But yeah, I'm just curious if in the new world, how many people would actually be truly interested in it. And so far, I haven't really found a ton of people that's really interested in local AI. But of course, we're a different type of breed of people too, because we focus more onto the gaming side. There's no way I could have built a better for less. That's not my point. My point is you can spend as much money as you want, and you still can have to use frame. Oh, I see. I understand what you mean. You feel like I get what you see. You feel like you're not getting the value out of your components. You feel like it's not true rasterization that you're pulling. That you're still reliant on certain features such as the LSS. I get it. I get it. So, fam guys, I certainly appreciate everybody that's come into the wonderful live stream. I hope I catch you guys upcoming on Saturday. I will definitely keep you guys up to date on this upcoming build. Certainly excited for it. I think they're junk. Yeah, you might go 9070 XT next time. In fact, I'm sure Tinfoil will say the same. AMD Halo says is the 4K DTX. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you guys certainly enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys had fun. I thank you, Anellis Darkstyle. I thank Tinfoil, Smitty, Tony. I also thank Steven, Charizard, Concrete, and I gotta thank Pixel for coming in. I got to thank uh our wonderful Hidden Bull. If I didn't say Dark Style Tech already, thank you once again, OZ Guru. I thank all of you guys for coming in to this wonderful stream, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the week. No, thank you all, and I certainly appreciate you all. Much love to everybody. Thanks so much, and see you guys on Saturday.